welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. If you are a frequent viewer of the show, you'll notice that we're going to start things off a little bit differently today than we normally do. We're being accommodating to our current longest resident. Sitting with Bubbles is Kira. She's one of our animal care technicians, and Bubbles is one of those cats that kind of just needs to feel safe with people. She can be a little bit more uncomfortable, a little bit more short-tempered when she's around people that she's not super comfortable with. So she likes Kira. So Kira is going to be sitting with her while we discuss, some of her behaviors. Bubbles is about 8 years old. She is one of our senior cats, and she has been with us since December 27th of 2018, making her our longest resident now. We have been recently really working with Bubbles. She is known for having a bit of a short fuse, for being a little bit opinionated, and sometimes that can turn people off, but we have doubled down and really taken the time to get to know her, and she's definitely showing all of us who are engaging her a much softer side. As you can see, she's pretty happy sitting on Kira's lap, maybe a little bit nervous in a new situation, but enjoying the attention that she's getting. This is not something that if you're just a regular visitor, I would encourage you to do right off the bat, is to pick her up, carry her to a strange place, and put her on a lap. But in her cage, she's starting to engage more. She's coming down and asking for attention. She doesn't like to be petted everywhere. She prefers to be petted around her head area in general. Some people, like Kira, have a little bit more leeway with that, but if you're sticking around the head area under the chin, she really likes if you rub under her chin. She's starting to show people her belly more, which in cats is kind of a sign of trust. So she's getting more comfortable and more relaxed with people. And we're seeing that she's really an incredibly playful cat. She enjoys the laser pointer, but her favorite thing is to watch YouTube videos of birds. So if you're looking for a cat that's a little bit more independent-minded and you have a mutual like for hanging out and watching some birds on TV, then Bubbles might be a great addition to your family. She would probably do best in a home without small children, just because she is a little bit opinionated. You can find out more about her by visiting her here at the shelter. Our address is 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Tammy's back with us now as we introduce you to the rest of the adoptable pets on today's show. First up is one of the many kittens that we have on the adoption floor right now. In fact, we recently just got back a litter of 9 kittens. So Mighty Eagle, because he's one of our fraidy cats, is more likely to get looked over when there are so many other more outgoing cats on the adoption floors, especially with just the number of them that are available. He is one of our fraidy cats. However, our volunteers that are part of our fraidy cat program have been committed to spending a lot of time with him, and we've quickly learned that he's a little shy in his kennel, but if you pick him up, that's his favorite thing. He loves to be held and cuddled and petted. You can pet him in his cage, in his hammock where he feels safe, or you can pick him up and hold him securely, and he really enjoys that. So he is starting to come out of his shell, and they will continue to work with him. However, when you are adopting a cat that's been known to be shy, or one of our fraidy cats here in the shelter, you need to understand that once you get them home, they'll likely revert a little bit. They get comfortable here, and then you take them to a new place, and they have to kind of start over and build up that safety and security again. So it just requires an adopter to be a little bit more patient. We do encourage everyone who adopts a cat from us to keep them in one isolated room for a 10-day period. For a variety of reasons, but one of them is to help them adjust and acclimate. So that's going to be more important for cats like Mighty Eagle, who are a little bit shy to start. Once he gets comfortable in his situation, it's likely that he will just go back to being a normal kitten. He feels safe being held by Tammy. You see that he's starting to play a little bit. He's nuzzling. He purrs when you pick him up right away. So he has a great future ahead of him. He just needs someone who's going to be a little bit more patient at the start of your life together. All of our cats and kittens are adopted for a fee of $97.50, so you can visit Mighty Eagle or any of our adoptable animals here at the shelter Monday through Saturday. This is Hayden, and he is one of our adult cats on the adoption floor right now. He is a very handsome orange tabby. He's almost bordering on red, so he's just a very handsome guy. He's a classic tabby, which means that he has the circles on his sides, more of a circular pattern instead of just the straight stripes. His markings are gorgeous, and in addition to being one of our great adult cats, he's also one of our larger cats. He weighs in at a whopping 15 pounds, 3.5 ounces. So he's definitely, there's a lot more of him to love, and he will definitely be able to keep your bed warmer this winter with those already thinking of school starting and fall and winter coming. He is also one of our return to shelter animals. So when people adopt from us, as they did Hayden when he was a kitten 4 years ago, if you're unable to keep your animal and find suitable housing for them, a safe, loving home, then we would prefer that you not take any of the animals that you've adopted from us and put them on Craigslist or take them to another shelter. We would really prefer that they come back here because we are committed to them. So now, as an adult cat, we are just as committed to Hayden as we were when he was a kitten named Starfire, back when he was just a baby. He is one of our shyer cats, so he is a little bit nervous right now. We've taken him from his cage, which he started to feel comfortable in, and brought him here to a new environment. We carried him, there's noises, all types of things going on, but he does come up to the front of his cage and ask for attention. When I went up there, he immediately came up to me. He wanted me to rub all over him, pet him. He's just a little uneasy about being picked up. He likes to sit in his bed and knead on the big fluffy bed. So we're still getting to know him as an adult, and it'll take a little bit of time because he's really new to the adoption floor. However, I think he's going to be a great addition to any family. His previous owners, unfortunately, did not fill out a profile giving us information into, things he likes, doesn't like, things like that. So it's going to be up to the staff and volunteers to figure that out for Hayden. If you have fallen in love with this beautiful, handsome guy, you can visit him here at the shelter. Our visiting hours are going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and Saturday from 10 to 4. These guys are a adorable brother-sister duo, and they are some of our kittens that have been with us for a long time. They've been with us since the end of June, and now they're about 4 to 5 months old, somewhere in there. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, they just keep getting looked over. Not because they're not great kittens. They're very friendly, they're affectionate, they're adorable, but other kittens are just, getting selected to be taken and adopted, and these guys, for whatever reason, have not. Their fur is a little shorter right now than most of the other domestic short hairs on the floor. That's because these guys had to be shaved. When they came in as strays, they were covered in lice, so they had to get lime sulfur dipped, so they were a little yellow for a couple of days, and then they had to have their fur shaved down. So for a while they actually looked like Rex cats because there was no fur. You could just see all of that bone structure, and now their fur is growing in quite nicely. They are identifiable right now by the fact that obviously one is male and one is female. But Doc is the male, and it seems like his fur is grown back in a little bit fuller, and so he's also hiding right now. And then Philo, her fur is still kind of growing in. Her face is a little bit more narrow. Her fur on her face isn't as puffy, and her little gray spot on the top of her head did grow back in. They both had it originally, and Doc seems to have disappeared. So they are a little bit harder to tell apart, but as you get to know an animal, you start to discover their differences and all of those subtleties that make them easy to identify in your home. They do not have to be adopted together, but I say this over and over again. If you're looking to take two home, it makes things a lot easier if you take two that already know each other. They cuddle together, they play together, so it'll be a comfort for them to come into a new home, and then you don't have to worry about, are they gonna fight and things like that. All of our cats and kittens are adopted for a fee of $97.50, but when you adopt 2, if that's your choice, you do get a $20 reduction in your adoption fee. Most of the time, the white cats just fly off the shelves, but these guys have been hanging around. Maybe it's because they're waiting for you. They're perfect forever family. If you are interested in them, you can stop in and visit, or if you want to call and see what their application status is before making the trip to the shelter, you can always call us at 301-600-1546. Final cat we're showcasing for you today is Emmy. Emmy is also one of our longest residents. She arrived at the beginning of January of this year, and she is also one of our cabana cats. So she lives in the open cat room where she hangs out with Spotty and Callie and Oscar. Mo and Lily and Carl are also in the second cabana, so they just get to do whatever they want. Emmy is known for being a little bit more independent. She likes to sit up high and kind of watch the world go by. She enjoys sitting in front of the window. She likes to steal all the other cats' food. So if you're going to make Emmy part of your family, then free feeding might not be the best option because Emmy doesn't really have a lot of self-control when it comes to her snacks. One of the things that people notice about Emmy right away is that she's a beautiful cat. She is a domestic long hair and she's tortoiseshell. So she does have that long fur, which is going to require a little bit more grooming maintenance. She isn't as good as some other cats about keeping up with that. So sometimes she does get some mats. So you just have to be brushing her on the regular basis. We try to brush her here. And making sure that if she is getting those mats that you're clipping those out. And then another fun thing that everybody seems to notice about Emmy is that her top canine teeth are a little bit long, so they stick out like little vampire fangs, and it's one of her cute, quirky qualities. She initially started out as one of our very shy fraidy cats, and she's come a long way since she's been with us. So now she's color-coded green. She doesn't necessarily love to be picked up and handled, and she is more independent. She's not necessarily the cat that's going to want to sit in your lap and hang out, but when she wants attention, she'll come up and ask for it, and she has done well living with the other cats in the cabana. They don't necessarily cuddle, but they coexist peacefully. So if you wanted to add her as a second or third cat to your household, she would be fine with a proper introduction. Because she is 5, like all the seniors, she has a discounted rate. So instead of being adopted for our normal $97.50 for adult cats, she would go home for a fee of $77.50. We hope that you enjoyed meeting some of the adoptable cats on the show today. There are many more, as I mentioned. There are tons of kittens, so if you're looking for something specific, come in and ask us. We can definitely point you in the right direction. If you're more into dogs, then stay tuned after the break. We'll showcase some of those as well.
Transit services of Frederick County. With rising gas prices, transit is a less expensive way to work or school. Most commuter bus routes run every 30 minutes during weekday morning and afternoon rush hours. Bus stops are within a quarter mile of most businesses in downtown Frederick. Transit offers shuttles to Thurmont, Emmitsburg, Brunswick, Jefferson, Spring Ridge, and Route 85, or take a shuttle to the MARC train for an easy commute. Find out what nearly 1 million passengers already know. Transit connects people and places.
The Frederick Green Homes Challenge is now online. Visit frederickgreenchallenge.org to sign up for a free account and start saving energy, saving money, and reducing your environmental impact. Learn about actions you can take from small to big, like upgrading your light bulbs, using water-saving devices, or installing a renewable energy system. Add actions to your to-do list, earn points for completing actions, and track your savings, all online. You can even post your story and learn from the experience of others. To get started, visit frederickgreenchallenge.org and click Take the Challenge.
Welcome back. I know I promised you dogs, and we do have dogs, but we have a very limited amount on our adoption floor right now, which is a great thing. So we're going to introduce you to one of our small animals right now. This is Tater Swift. That's right, you heard me correctly. Her name is Tater Swift, and the staff are very impressed with their punny naming conventions. They're in love with that. And the only person here who is more in love with Tater than the staff is with her name is our director, Linda Shea. Tater is her favorite animal right now. I think I've not seen her get as excited about an animal since the last guinea pig that she loved, which was Moo. So Tater is one of the rare blue color-coded animals. It's rare across the adoptable animals, but I've never seen one in the time that I've been here, a color-coded blue guinea pig. Tater is super easygoing. She likes to cuddle. She's easy to get out of her cage. She's obviously been really well cared for and handled, but unfortunately, when her family moved away, they abandoned her. They left her in their rental property at Fort Detrick. So when the people at Detrick found her, they immediately brought her to us, and we held her for the required 5 days, and now she's on our adoption floor looking for her forever family. We just have her listed as an adult. We don't know exactly how old she is, but she's going to make a great addition to any family. It is important, however, to remember that guinea pigs need to be handled. If you want her to remain this way, you need to interact with her, provide her with love and attention. You do also want to make sure you're doing the proper research. They have special care needs, so that you're providing all of those things for them. They need to have things to chew on. They need to have their nails trimmed. They need to have, their pellets and their hay and their veggies. So you want to make sure you're doing all of those things. They need mental stimulation as well, just like any of your other cats, dogs, and they need exercise. So they shouldn't just be living in a cage all the time. Our guinea pigs here at the shelter are adopted for a fee of $10 or 2 for $15. If you are looking to add a guinea pig as a second guinea pig, you don't want to just throw them into a cage. That could be potentially dangerous. You want to make sure that you're properly introducing them by doing cages side by side and then working them together and then moving forward as they're indicating is okay with them. If you wanted to meet Tater, you could come in and visit her here at the shelter at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Most of the dogs today, in fact, actually all of the dogs today, you've met before on the show, because we don't have that many adoptable dogs right now, which is a great thing. So it just gives us more of an opportunity to showcase the ones that we do have. Most of our dogs are always going to be larger dogs, like Apollo here. He is one of our pit bull mixes. He's about 2 years old. He is a beautiful fawn and white color, and he's just a goofy guy, as you can see. He's very playful. He's very affectionate. He's very smart. When Apollo first arrived, we had him color-coded purple. So for a dog that needs a little bit more training and things like that, we also recommended that he go to a home with some older kids. And since he's been here and we've gotten to know him more and we've learned more about his behavior, we've actually changed that assessment. So he doesn't have any restrictions on the type of family that can adopt him as far as age requirements, and he's now color-coded green, which just means a higher energy dog, one that, as you can see, he pulls a little bit. He's a strong dog, weighing it's about 62 pounds. One of the things that we have not changed, however, is that he does need to go to a home that is free of cats, small dogs, and exotic pets. He has a very high prey drive, so we want to make sure that he is not going to be put into a situation where he's going to behave like a dog and then get himself into trouble and possibly injure another animal. So we are not in the business of setting up our pets for failure. We want to give him the best chance possible at a forever home. I have had Apollo out with other kids. He's gone on outings and done really well with our volunteers out in the community. He has done well, parallel walking with other dogs. So it just needs to be a dog that is, approximately his size is really what we're looking for. He is very well mannered. He knows sit. He knows some other cues, and he just needs to find that forever home, without small fluffy creatures. If you were interested in Apollo, you could visit with him here at Animal Control. Our visiting hours are going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and Saturdays from 10 to 4. This is Burke, and He is about 6 to 7 years old. He is a handsome pit bull mix. When he first arrived as a stray, every time I walked by his cage, he just kind of looked so sweet and sad. And now that he's been processed and moved over onto the adoption floor, he always, he wants attention. He always looks happy. He's just so excited to be getting all this interaction from the staff and volunteers. When he first came in, he earned himself the nickname Papa John. His official name is Burke, but a lot of the kennel techs still call him Papa John because there was some pizza in the trash can, and he decided that he was going to help himself to that. So that's how he earned his nickname Papa John. If you have an open trash can at your house and you're thinking about adding Burke to your family, you might want to consider getting a lid for that and working with Burke on doing some training to let him know that he's not allowed to dig for things in the trash. That's kind of a common dog thing. Lots of people work with that and deal with that. He is listed as needing a home with children 10 and up. He is a big, strong guy. He weighs 71 pounds, but he can be a little greedy with his toys. He likes those, so we want to make sure that kids aren't pulling toys and stuff out of his mouth and that he potentially kind of reacts in a negative way. We want to make sure that there's not going to be any issues there with toys and things of that nature. He also has, as a lot of older animals do, some medical things that need to be taken into consideration. Mainly with him, it's going to be his teeth. He does have some teeth that need to be extracted. They are broken and infected, and we're working on getting that done for him. But some animals just have genetically bad teeth, so as they age, they'll need dentals more frequently than others. So that's something that you want to keep in the back of your mind if you're looking to make him part of your family. He is going to need that dental soon, but he might need other things as he ages, as all animals do. Because he is technically a senior, he would be adopted for a reduction in his adoption fee, making him adoptable for a fee of $70 to $50. This is Braxton, and he is a dog. The longer he's here, the more I fall in love with him. I can't understand why he hasn't been adopted yet, but then at the same time, I can, because Braxton is one of those dogs that just doesn't necessarily show well in his kennel. It's not that he's aggressive in his kennel or poorly behaved, it's that he's an attention seeker. He loves to be around people, so when he's in his kennel and people are walking by, he's trying to get your attention, so he jumps up on the front of his kennel and he barks, and it's not an aggressive type of a situation. His body language is definitely far from that, but it can be off-putting to a lot of people. But as you can see, when he's outside of his kennel, this is how he is. He's very quiet, he's very well-mannered, he walks really nicely on a leash, he's gentle with toys, he loves toys, he's gentle taking treats. He likes to sit in laps, he likes to cuddle, he'll jump up on people, but mostly because he wants to be near you, he wants to give hugs and feel that closeness. He rides very well in the car, quietly, jumps right in, no issues there. He's done well with other dogs when we're doing our parallel walks and things of that nature. So he's just an amazing dog. He does just need to work on, attention seeking and not doing that. It's something that he might not do in a home environment. It might be something that's purely directed at his, being in a kennel. So we're not sure, but it's definitely something that can be worked with for all the great things that great qualities that he already has. As you can see, he's great with sit, not so great at catch. But he's just a very affectionate dog who's done well with children, would make a great family pet. He is listed as a Shar-Pei mix, so if you rent an apartment, that wouldn't be as big of an issue. A lot of the pit bull mixes are limited in where they can live when you're talking about rental properties. But Braxton, as long as there's not a weight limit, he should be fine in any home. If you want to visit with him, you can do so at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. The last dog that we have for you today is Onyx, and he is back from a week at camp, learning all kinds of exciting stuff at puppy camp. He is about a year old now. He's been with us for a little while, since the beginning of June. And he is available by appointment right now because Onyx had some issues that are common for some dogs with resource guarding. So it's even more common in shelter environments because it's a stressful situation and they have limited access to things. So basically, if he's afraid that somebody's going to take something, he's going to react. So the entire week that he was at camp, he was learning tools to help him understand that people aren't going to take his things. So if he does, a person approaching doesn't necessarily mean that, for example, his toy is going to get taken away or his food is going to get taken away. Learning that if he does let people take things away, oftentimes he gets a better reward. So he gets something that's a little bit tastier or a better toy. Teaching him to trade. So he might not be able to have this, but he can have this instead. Teaching him to walk away from things that he's not supposed to have. So he did a lot of work with that, and he has learned very quickly. His partner for that camp said that he was very smart. He's also just a very sweet, goofy guy. So he has a lot of potential. He just needs an owner who is committed to working with him and continuing his training. All of the resources have been provided to us and will be passed on to any adopter so that he can get the best training possible when he's moving forward. Because he does have those issues with his toys and his food, we are adopting him out to a family that has children that are at least 16 or older. We do not want to have small kids who maybe don't understand trying to reach for things, being right in his face. Again, as we've talked about, setting him up for failure. If you think that Onyx is going to be a good match for your family, you can call the shelter at 301-600-1546 to set up a time to meet with him and see if he's going to be the next member of your family. We hope that you enjoyed meeting all of the adoptable animals on this show today. If you didn't see something that you want to take home, you can always stop in and visit here at the shelter. There's many more to choose from, and we hope that you will visit us and tune in again next week for the next episode of Pet Pals.
Hi, I'm Tracy, and this is Catherine. We are Frederick County 911 dispatchers, and we're here to tell you what to expect when dialing 911.
We're on the line to listen, and we also have important instructions to give you. Your 911 operator needs to get essential information from you as quickly as possible by asking the following questions in this order.
What is the address of the emergency so we can send the right help to the right location? What is the phone number you're calling from? If the line disconnects, we may need to call you back. What is your name so we can address you properly? And tell me exactly what happened. Asking these questions allows operators to start dispatch to emergencies quickly.
Your 911 operator is often working closely with one or more dispatchers, obtaining important information which is relayed to responders who are on the way to your location while you are still on the phone.
This process is repeated on each call to ensure responders get to each emergency as quickly and safely as possible with the right information to provide the best service they can.
Law enforcement, fire and rescue, and other responders rely on 911 operators and dispatchers to obtain specific information that varies with each type of call. Sometimes it may seem as though your 911 operator is asking a series of unnecessary questions, but in fact this information is vital for getting the right help sent to the right place. Often, help is already on the way while your 911 operator is talking to you.
While emergency crews are responding, dispatchers continue to provide them with updated information gathered by your 911 operator.
Also, your 911 operator may be able to provide you with important life-saving direction, from how to safely exit a building on fire to CPR instruction, providing important information for staying safe and out of danger during a vehicle accident, as well as helping a caller deliver a baby.
For more information, visit frederickcountymd.gov/911 or call the non-emergency number at 301-600-1603.